Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our session. Welcome to another performance task session. If you're joining for the first time, or even if you're a repeater in joining, you can go ahead and you can tell us which school you're joining from in the chat. All right, so just go ahead and tell us which school you're joining from in the chat so we can all know where in Jamaica everyone is joining from. Okay, so as I would have shared with you previously, we will be working on performance tasks today, and you can see here on the screen the name of this performance task is called Raising Chicken. Now, many of you so far would know what raising chicken is all about. We're Jamaicans, and it is no secret that a lot of us we have our own chicken coop or own chicken farm at the back or the side or somewhere at home. All right, so if you have a chicken coop, you can type in the chat, yes, I have a chicken coop. If you don't have one, but you can let us know that you know what a chicken coop is. Now, I too have a chicken coop, especially when I was home with my mom. We always have our chicken coop. So we raise chicken. We have chicken from their chicks until they are mature and ready for sale. In a performance task, I was explaining before to the persons who have joined me on Zoom here, performance task, it is very linked, connected. All the parts are connected. That means if you start at the beginning and somewhere down in the middle or at the end you have a question and you're like, oh, where will I get the information to answer this one? Please note that that information most likely will be on or at the beginning of the session. So please ensure that you are taking notes. You have your pencils, your pen, your eraser, book, paper, whatever you need. And also note that we will be using the whiteboard FI. So if you wish to show your work on the whiteboard FI for me to view or for me to share with others, I will be sending the whiteboard FI link and you can do so. All right, for those who are just joining, share your school in the chat. Let us know where you're joining from. All right, so I will go here and I will share with you the whiteboard FI link. And on this whiteboard FI, you can share your working. All right, so let's go. All right, so there it is. I've shared it in the chat. So you can always show your working there. All right, so sorry about that. Obviously, I did not share my screen yet, but you have not missed anything. So what I have done, I have shared in the chat the link for the Whiteboardify. So it's there on YouTube and it's also there on Zoom. So let's get started. All right, so this task is called Raising Chicken, as I mentioned before, and I wanted persons to share if they know anything about raising chicken. You know, if you know persons who have been raising chicken, or if you have done that before, or you know, broilers and those people always raise chicken and so on. So in this task, we will be exploring different concepts in math. For example, area, perimeter, money, metric conversion, fractions, and of course, you will be using the four operations or some of the four operations. So let's get started. All right, so if there are persons who are trying to join here on Zoom, but you are there on YouTube, please continue on YouTube because I have closed the join room here. I have given the ground rules and the room is almost basically full here, but I've given the ground rules here and I will not be giving the rules again. So it's best you continue there on YouTube. So the first part of this task goes like this. You and your big brother are thinking of starting a business. You're thinking of a business idea because you are home and you're learning online. So you're thinking of a business idea and you want to know, what kind of idea, what kind of business we can start, given that we are at home and we have a lot of time on our hands to do this business. A grant of $75,000 is being offered by the counselor, and you are planning to apply for it and use it to start your new business. Now, when we talk about counselor, this kind of counselor, we're not talking about your guidance counselor at school. In most communities, in all communities, you have the MP, which is a member of parliament, you have the counselors and so on. So this counselor who takes care of the happenings and the things in your community, they are offering a grant of $75,000. Now, not only one person will get this, a few people can apply for it and be considered and also receive this. So, your brother suggested that you start a chicken farm. Good idea. Don't you think? Do you think it's a good idea? You're working from home. You're learning from home, you're learning online. I know that some of you are face to face now, no problem. But we're talking about when you were actually working and studying at home. Do you think it's really a good idea to start this chicken coop? I mean, you'll be home all day, every day. So I think this is a really good business idea. All right. Yes, guys. All right. So go ahead and you can take a picture, take a screenshot of this. So you have the information. All right. Good. So let's continue. To start the chicken farm, there are a number of things that you will need. Can you share in the chat some of the things that you will need if you're starting a chicken farm? Can you share with us some of the things that you will need? Because, I mean, if you don't already have the things for the chicken farm, and remember now, you and your brother is not like you've been raising chicken before. You're about to start it, but of course you would have had to have done your research to know the things that you will need to start your chicken coop. Like you can't just get up and start. It's not something that you don't need to make preparation for. Yes, anime gamer, you need the chicken coop. Definitely. You need the chicken coop. You need land clearance McCullough. Yes, you need chicken feeding Tresan. Very good. We need sawdust, feed pan, coop, water. Yes, everybody, I know you know these things. Yes, we need these things. We need land. Yes. All right. So we need a lot of things, definitely. And we also need the chicken. Someone said we also need the chicken. Someone said fencing. All right, Tony, and go ahead and Ronaldo, don't send the messages direct to me. Send it so everyone in the group can see it because otherwise other persons might not be able to respond to you if you ask a question there. Yes, very good. We need chicken, land, water, feed, and coop. Definitely. We need all of those things to start the chicken business. All right, so here are a few things based on what you have said. I thought about the same things too. And yes, we need a chicken coop. We need waterers. That is where you keep the water in. The red thing in your coop that the water runs down and then the chicken picks from it and get the water. Yes, you need the waterers. You need the feeding pans. That is where the feeding going to go into because we can't just sprinkle the feeding there, right? In the sawdust. We need sawdust because the sawdust helps with the chicken and their wastes and those kind of things. And it also helps to keep them from directly being on the ground. we need the baby chicks. Of course, if we start in a chicken farm, we certainly need the baby chicks. Okay, Matthew. Matthew says vitamins. We need medicine, of course. We definitely need medicine for the chicken. So those are some things very important that we need. Yes, Nisha James says, and we need money. We're going to need money. So somebody said we have the money already. But remember, so we not apply yet, we have not applied for the grant and we don't know if we're getting it yet. But before we do all of that, we know that yes, if somebody say molasses, yes man, Rejane, we certainly need molasses too. So if we have the medicine, we can use that, we can use molasses, and there up in the country, we also use like, what's it called those, the sour orange and those kind of things. Somebody said bleach, powder, white lime. Oh my goodness, you guys are professionals in raising chicken. Yes, somebody said 100 baby chicks, but we can use 52 in a rows. We can use any amount of chicks. And so these are some things that we certainly will need, but we have not applied yet for the grant. But if it is that we were supposed to be awarded the grant, we need to know what we will need for this chicken coop and what we need to buy. We also need the chicken feed. All right, so there is already a chicken coop, but it needs new mesh and a roof. So, usually with our chicken feed, we put the mesh around and we put the roof on top and all of that. Yes, we need light. Certainly, Jonathan, we need light. We need all of those things. So there is a chicken coop already in our yard. Maybe our somebody used to have a chicken coop, but they no longer have it. But that old chicken coop needs mesh to go around it and it needs roof. All right. Take a screenshot of this. Take a screenshot of this. All right. Yes, Javier, chicken experts. All right. All right. So the dimensions of the flooring, the flooring, the bottom part where you're going to sprinkle the sawdust on, the dimensions of the flooring is 9 meters by 4.5 meters. And you need to determine the amount of mesh to buy. Now, when the mesh is sold, it's sold with 3 meters wide. So like look at this mesh on this farm that we have here. From right here, the top to the bottom right here, that's the width of the mesh. But we need to know the length, the amount of mesh that we need to buy. With that said, let me go ahead and point out some of those dimensions because we need to calculate the length of the mesh we need for this chicken coop. Now, looking at this example, it is not one drawn to scale, so I'm just using it for demonstration purposes. So this right here is one dimension where you can see the arrow. So whether it's 9 meters or 4.5 meters, you can use whichever, because as I'm saying that this scoop doesn't have those direct dimensions, but it's an example that I want to show you. This is another dimension of the cube. And remember, we said that the mesh is 3 meters wide, right? So it's 3 meters wide. So if you bring it around, the width from the bottom to the top here, 3 meters wide. So I want you to go ahead and start to calculate the length of mesh you need for the chicken coop. All right, so let me just go ahead and share that link again for persons who wish to work on the whiteboard. And you can start sending me some responses. And don't forget to take your screenshots. If you're not a quick writer, don't forget to take your screenshots. All right. Let me just go ahead and share that link again with you guys. All right. So I'm looking to see what you guys are doing so far. All right. So I'm actually looking for responses. Okay. All right. So I'm not seeing any responses yet. Go ahead and start working on this. I'm not seeing any responses yet. What is the length of mesh that we will need for this chicken coop? Yes, certainly, guys, we need those things. All right, so someone says 13 and a half. Someone says 30 is your answer. Someone says 30. So Ramona, you say 30. Joshua says 30. I see persons saying 13.5 meters. So now thank you, Tyler, for giving us a unit because you could never ever give us the answer without the unit. Someone say 130. Matthew says 135 meters. Alith Smith on YouTube says 40. But 40 what? 40 kilometers? All right, guys. So I have not given anyone permission to write on the screen. Can you erase the writing, please? I will give permission whenever it's time. So please erase your writing from the screen. I sent a link for the whiteboard. All right, so I see person saying 40.5 meters. All right. All right, guys. There's no problem with anyone. We will all get the same answer if we're correct. So whether you have whether you have that answer and someone else post it, no problem. I see Joshua, Rihanna. I see Janae Francis saying 30 meters. Rihanna saying 19 meters. Joshua Anderson now saying 30.5 meters. I'm seeing many different answers here. I see Dominique Jones says 39.5 meters. Now we are figuring out the length of the mesh. What concept do we need to think about? If we're figuring out the length of the mesh, what concept in math are we working on? We need to find the length of the mesh. What concept is that in math? Let me go on over to the whiteboard to see what you guys have done there. All right. So I see persons saying area, but are we using area to solve this? What concept? I see persons saying perimeter. All right, let me just go ahead and I'm going to go and look at what you guys have been doing here. Okay. All right, so I see some answers going. I see Camille Williams saying 9 point plus 4.5. But let's look at it. If we are working on perimeter, how many dimensions, how many sides will the chicken coop have? If we're working on perimeter, are we and it's and the chicken coop has a particular shape. What shape are we thinking about though? What shape does this chicken coop have? What shape will it have based on the dimensions you have received? Yes, definitely we are looking at perimeter. But what is the shape? What is the shape? Okay, I see persons saying rectangle, some persons saying square. Some persons say it's four-sided. Very good. If it's four-sided. But and I see persons saying square. Is it a square? Is it a rectangle? Why is it a square? Why is it a rectangle? I need to see persons telling me, will this be a rectangular or a square kind of chicken coop? Go ahead and tell us. If you said rectangle, how do you know? If you said square, how do you know? All right. So I need to see why persons say square or rectangle. All right. So here in the chat, Clarence is saying it's a rectangle because it has four sides and they're not all equal. Nikayla says it has two long and two short sides, so it's a rectangle. I need to hear from the persons who even said it's a square. I need to know why you say it's a square. All right, Tresan says because there are four equal sides. What are the four equal sides, Tresan? Tonian says that it's a square because there are four equal sides with the same measurement. I need to know what are those measurements then. If it has four equal sides with the same measurements, what are those measurements then? That is what I need to hear, what I need to understand. So Sean Bennett says with a square, all sides would be equal. Samantha Mason says it's a square because a square has four equal sides. Now, let me go right back to the question before I even look at the answers that are here. Let me go back to the question that we're talking about. Now, the dimensions, it is saying here, based on the dimensions, 9 meters by 4.5 meters. If you can go ahead and you can draw your rectangular flooring. I'm going to go ahead too and I'm going to draw mine. So I am going to go ahead and I'm going to draw this rectangular flooring. Well, or basically I'm going to draw my flooring. So that's about 9. I'm just assuming it could be about 9. Not drawn to scale. Okay, so that is one dimension, that's another. So I'm looking at it like this because it says one dimension is 9, and one is 4.5. And I'm just going to go ahead and label these. It's not drawn to scale, but of course 9 meter is certainly not the same as 4.5 meter. So I'm going to have 9 meters right there, and I'm going to put 4.5 meters here because I know that the short side would have to be 4.5 meters while the long side is 9 meters. Now, if I look at this and right here is 9 meters, so the bottom part would definitely have to be 9 meters. And across from here, we have 4.5 meters will have to be. Now, if you're looking at what we're talking about here, is this really a square? For the persons who are saying square, does this have four equal sides? All right, come on, guys. Remember now, for things like these, you also need to draw your shapes. Draw the whatever dimensions you're given, you can go ahead and you can start. All right, very good. I see some persons who said square now saying rectangle. Very good. All right, Alicia Johnson. Yes, it cannot be a square. Very good. So let me just go back to the whiteboard. All right, so I'm looking here at what Clarence McCullough, all right, I need to clear drawing here. And I'm going to look at what Clarence McCullough has worked out. Now, very good, Clarence, because I see where you drew your rectangle. So she made an outline of the rectangle, and she's saying that the mesh is going to go around the shape, so we find the perimeter, and whatever the perimeter is, how much mesh we need to buy. All right, so with that said, this is the rectangle here the rectangular floor that she has, because of course 9 is definitely longer than 4.5, and she has labeled it. She has labeled it. She put in our measurements and all of that. So, oh, sorry. Sorry, Clarence. So he labeled it. He has put in his dimensions, 9 meters here, 9 meters across from it, because if it's a rectangle, it means that opposite sides are equal. All right, so also here, he went ahead and he did his calculation because, of course, if we're talking about the fencing, we're definitely talking about the mesh going around this. So we're talking about the perimeter. He went ahead and he did his calculation. He added his 9 plus 9 plus 4.5 plus 4.5. And there he is. That's what he got for his answer. Let me go ahead and scroll and see what if everyone else did anything similar. So I see what Geo has, but Geo is not complete. Nikayla says 26.5. I'm looking to see if anyone has done their calculations here. All right. Okay, I'm not seeing any. I see persons right here. I see Rena, and Rena did some multiplication here, but we're trying to find the mesh. Is the mesh going around the shape, or is around the chicken coop, or is the mesh going on the floor of the chicken coop? Because if we're putting the mesh on the floor, then we'll find the area. But is the mesh going around the chicken coop? Think about those things before you answer. Think about those things when you're trying to answer your question. All right, so, okay. So here I see Shakwana. She wrote in her dimensions 4.5 and then she did her calculation. 9 plus 9 plus 4.5 plus 4.5 equals 27 meters. Very good. So definitely for that, we have to be adding the dimensions that are there for our rectangular farm. So for persons who are not yet understanding, I'm just going to go right ahead and I'm going to demonstrate. So say for example, this is the farm. We have dimensions. It says 9 meters by 4.5 meters. That means it can be 9 meters wide. So I'm going to write 9 meters wide, and it can be 4.5 meters long. So I'm going to put those in. 9 meters by 4.5 meters. When you look at this 9 meters by 4.5 meters, and we're looking at this rectangle here, we know that in a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. So if right here so is 9 meters, then right down here is also 9 meters. Because it's a rectangle, opposite sides are equal. If right here is 4.5 meters, then so is the opposite side of that. And we always want to write our units in, very important. So we are going to look at this chicken farm here as this. Now, if you look, the mesh comes 3 meters wide. Now, if you think about that, that is almost like a little distractor right now, you know. It's a little distractor because you don't need to know this to if the mesh comes 3 meters wide to calculate the length of the mesh that you need. However, it is telling you though that of course we're talking about measuring the chicken coop going around. That's where the length comes in. But when it talks about it being 3 meters wide, definitely Queen Ash, it's a cuboid, and that is the reason we're talking about the flooring. All right, the flooring is rectangular. So do not think about the chicken coop being a rectangle. If we're drawing it, we're drawing it as a rectangle as we have here. So it's our modeling or our diagram to represent the chicken coop. That would be a rectangle when you're drawing it here on paper. Very good, and it cannot be a cube either. The chicken coop cannot be a cube. So I had said earlier that I'm showing a picture of a chicken coop here, and I also said that the dimensions are not the same as the ones here, but we are going to use this as an example so you understand how to work out the question. So yes, we need to know about the length and the width of this chicken coop. But knowing the mesh being 3 centimeters wide, because if you're putting it around, we're going to have it going around. So we're talking about from the bottom of it to the top. So that's how high the mesh will be. That's why we have 3 centimeters wide. I'm not sure if there are persons who are trying to work it out with that, with this dimension as well, 3 meters wide, or this measurement for the mesh. But if you're finding out the length of the mesh, you would, and you're understanding the question asked, you would know that this information is not needed to answer this question. So of course, to find out the length of the mesh, we need to find the perimeter. That is the concept we're looking at here. Perimeter is what we need to think about. So we now need to add the dimensions. A rectangle has how many sides? It has 4 sides. And so it means that we're going to be adding 4 dimensions. So here we're adding 4 dimensions. And of course, these are all in meters. So when we add 9 plus 9, we have 9 plus 9 is, anyone can share their answer. 9 plus 9 would be 9 plus 9 is 18. 18 plus 4.5. 22.5. Thank you, Clarence. 22.5 plus 4.5 will give us, thank you guys, 22.5 plus 4.5 gives us 27. All right, very good. So definitely the length of mesh that we need here is 27 meters. So I hope we all have done our calculations and we're understanding this question so far. 27 meters of mesh is needed. All right, let's move on. Very good so far. Let us move on. All right, now Clarence, you know so much about mesh. I have no idea how mesh is how mesh comes in units of 3. No idea with that. But I'm using dimensions here so we can build our math skill. I don't know so much about mesh like you do. All right, but for this, if we're buying the lens, then these are the calculations we'll need. All right, so let's move on to this other question. The hardware sells mesh at $8 per centimeter. No, Clarence is saying they come in units. Well, we're buying our mesh here in centimeters. So mesh, the hardware will sell the mesh at $8 per centimeter. Now, provided that you have calculated the length of mesh needed, can you tell me how much money will you need to buy the mesh? How much will you need to buy the mesh? Let me go ahead and clear screen. How much will you need to buy the mesh? All right, very good, guys. All right. All right, here you go. The link for the whiteboard again. Let me see what you guys are doing on the whiteboard. So remember now, if it is, you don't need to clear your screen, just click on that little plus sign at the bottom of your page for you to go on a new page. So don't clear your screen, because at the end of the live, it is important that you are able to download your whiteboard and you have all your work out there on your device. So do not clear the screen, just click on the plus sign and go to a new page. When you click on the plus sign and you go to a new page, ensure that underneath that page, the I is not crossed out, because if it's crossed out, it means nobody can see it. I can't see it. So you need to click on it and ensure it is green underneath that board or that page that you're working on. All right, so I see persons saying they have $21,600. $21,600. I will need someone to explain that for us. Hold on a little. I will have someone explain that for us. I'm just going to go ahead and look at what you guys are doing here on the whiteboard so far. All right, deep bowing is multiplying 27 by 8. All right. All right. All right. Good. Very good, guys. I see some of you putting in some work here, but there are others who are not writing on their board. All right. All right. So right now I'm going to ask, I see persons having their answers here in the chat, and I'm going to select one person to respond to this. But I'm going to give you all just a little more chance to go ahead. All right. So Leona Edwards. Hold on, Leona. Leona Edwards. All right, Leona, go ahead and unmute and explain to us how you got your answer. You're also free to annotate on the screen here if you wish to show us what you did in working out. Leona, go ahead and unmute. That is not Leona writing on the board. All right, so students, we have to follow instructions. We have to follow instructions. So if I have given one person a chance to do something, I don't expect that everyone should be doing that. Leona, go ahead. All right. All right. I'm not sure why you're unable to mute. I'm asking you to unmute, so I'm not sure why you're not able to mute.
Okay, you are now.
I multiply the cost.
You multiply
The cost.
Go ahead, explain to us exactly what you did.
I multiply the cost of the thread. I multiply the cost of the mesh, and
Is it the cost of the mesh you multiplied? Is it the cost of the mesh did you multiply? All right, Jaquan, I see where Jaquan here is explaining something to us. He said that first we need to convert the meter to centimeter. All right, so I'm not really seeing that happening. All right, Clarence, let me allow you to explain to us. Go ahead, Clarence, unmute. Clarence?
So
Yes, go ahead.
the first thing that we're gonna find out is because it sells per centimeter miss, and we already know how much meters of mesh we want miss. We know how much meters of mesh we want miss. First thing that we're gonna do miss is find out how much one meter 1 meter is how much centimeters, and we know that 1 meter is 100 centimeter. So then, miss, we're gonna find out how much 27 meters how much centimeters, and that would be 27,000 centimeters.
Hold
So then,
on. So hold on. 1 meter is 100 centimeter. So
yes, miss,
27 meter is how much centimeters?
27,
27 meters is how much
27,
centimeter?
27,000.
Are you sure?
Oh no, wait, it's 2,700. My mistake.
2,700. Very good.
Oh wait, listen, I accidentally cleared the screen. Yes, so that's now I've made my correction. So now, since we know that, miss, and we know that it sells for $8 per centimeter, miss, we're gonna multiply 2,700 times 8, miss.
All right.
And when we do that, miss, we get 21,600. So that's so my answer for this one would be $27,600.
27,000. Can you write that for us to see right here? Right? All right. So for persons who did not understand to begin with, based on what Clarence explained, I hope you're able to understand what he explained. So what I'm just going to do, thank you so much, Clarence. What I'm just going to do, I'm just going to repeat what he said. All right. So he said that first, and Jake One Wisdom said the same thing. He said that they both said that you have to convert. You have to convert 27 meters to centimeters. We convert 27 meters to centimeters. And before we do that, we have to know how much centimeter make 1 meter. So 1 meter here is equal to 100 centimeters. So with that, with us knowing that, we know that 2 meters is 200 centimeters. We know that 8 meters, 800 centimeters. We know that 12 meters, 1200 centimeters, which is the same as 1200 centimeters. And that means that 27 meters is the same as 2700 centimeters, which is the same as 2700 centimeters. Very good. So he first had to convert the meter into centimeter because the hardware is selling the mesh $8 per centimeter. All right, so with that said now, after he has converted the meters, the length of mesh from meters to centimeter, he started to multiply that amount, 2,700 centimeters by $8. Because each centimeter, $8. So after doing that, he got $21,600. And this is how he got the cost, how much it will cost to buy all the mesh that we will need for the chicken coop. All right. So, all right. If you got it wrong, no problem. Just go ahead and make your correction. All right. So there are many persons here as well, like Tonian, who believes that the answer is right. Janae Francis believes that the answer is right. So if you got this for your answer, just give me a thumbs up or give me an agree. Type agree in the chat that if you got this answer correct and if this is how you approached it. You did your conversion, then you did your multiplication. Just tap agree if this is what you did. Or you can give me a thumbs up, whatever you have. So I know that we are all on the same page. All right. For those who are just joining, it will be a little difficult for you to just follow in the middle. So if you follow what is being said in the chat, then you will be able to get some understanding of where we are. All right. So go ahead and take a screenshot of this, guys. Go ahead and take a screenshot of this. And we're going to move on to the next question. Brilliant. All right, very good. So if you did not get this correct, take your screenshot or go ahead and make your corrections. Nice. All right, so first, before we did all of that, yes, we did this. We decided how much mesh we will need in centimeters. Let me go clear this screen. Thank you again, Clarence. So we first needed to know how much mesh we needed in centimeters to find the cost of the mesh. And of course, you guys had that part. You guys ensure you did that and got your answer. And after you have done your calculation, we had 2,700 centimeters of mesh. And in all, we'll spend $21,600 for the needed mesh. All right. Now we're going to move on to this next question. To put on the roof of the coop, you will need to buy sheets of zinc. But of course, we did say that the chicken coop, the old chicken coop uh, needs mesh and it needs roof. So here we have sought out the mesh, how much mesh we will need, and now we need to determine, we're going to determine how much sheets of zinc we will, how many sheets of zinc we will need. So put on the roof of the coop, you will need sheets of zinc. Each zinc has a dimension of 2.5 meters by 3/4 meters. How many sheets of zinc will you need? Now, of course, I won't be saying much here. I want persons to go ahead and try this out. I want persons to go ahead and try this out. Whether you're going to work on the whiteboard or you're going to work in your book and share your explanation in the chat, that's fine with me. So it says to put on the roof of the chicken coop, you will need to buy sheets of zinc. Each zinc has a dimension of 2.5 meters by 3/4 meters. How many sheets of zinc will you need? Okay. I see Romain saying 18, but I'm not sure what Romain is answering to. Not sure what Romain is answering to. All right, very good, guys. I see persons agreeing with you, Clarence. All right, so I will allow you to take a screenshot. There's someone writing on the screen. This is not how we work, you know, guys. We don't work like this. You wait for permission to write on the screen. You don't just write on the screen. That is not respectful. You're not respecting us by doing that. All right. So, I'm waiting on some answers in the chat. And your answers cannot be 5, 18, those numbers I see people posting here. You have to answer in a sentence. I have no idea what you're answering to. I don't know if you mean 5 sheets of zinc or 18 sheets of zinc. So guys, you have to ensure you're answering in a sentence so we know. All right, so I will give you about a minute more to work on this, or perhaps 2 minutes, and I will go over to whiteboard. In fact, just post in the chat whenever you're finished on the whiteboard and I can go and check. All right, so Soup Ploop says, how much area are we covering? That is something that we need to think about, definitely. So yes, we have to think about how much area we're covering. Now, this is what a sheet of zinc looks like. This is what a sheet of zinc looks like. So we need to keep this in mind. So persons who don't know what zinc look like, this is what a sheet of zinc looks like. And we could be putting on our sheets of zinc on the roof in this way, or we could be putting it on looking like this. So it depends. And remember now the dimensions that we're working with. Remember the dimensions that we're working with. And so if you know the dimensions which you actually knew already because we have been working with the dimensions, then you should be able to determine how many sheets of zinc you will need. Whether you're going to put on the zinc like this or you're going to put it on like this, how many sheets of zinc will you need? Go ahead and send us an explanation if you have already worked it out. I see persons saying 18 sheets of zinc. Nicalia, Ramona saying 18 sheets of zinc. All right, let me see the others. Okay. Denike Senior, I see 56. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what you're answering to by just saying 56. I see Shawayne saying 18 sheets of zinc. Wesley saying 18 sheets of zinc. All right. I see lots of persons. Do you have your workout on the whiteboard? Do you have the workout on the whiteboard? If you have the workout on the whiteboard, then go right ahead. Let us know so I can go over there and see what you have done so everyone can actually see the work that you are doing. All right. So have you thought about how your chicken coop will look? How will you put the zinc on? Will it go on like this? Will it go on flat like this? Tell me. All right, so Tonian is saying so 3/4 can be more or less than 2.5. 3/4 is, what is 3/4? Is that more than 2.5 or less than 2.5? Is 3/4 more than one or less than one? Think about those things. What is 3/4? More or less than one? More or less than 2.5? 3/4 is a fraction, and that means a fraction is less than one whole. So the fraction is less than one whole, and so 3/4 is not yet one. So if it's not one, it's less than one. It simply means it's also less than 2.5. All right, guys, so think about it. Fractions are less than one whole. If it's a mixed number, then it's that amount of whole number that you're seeing, that amount of whole and a fraction of another whole, if it's a mixed number. But 3/4 is a fraction. It is less than one whole. So it's also less than 2.5. 2.5 is 2.5. So it definitely is less than. All right, so let me go over to the whiteboard and let me see if anyone has done any work on the whiteboard. All right, let's see some calculation. Okay, Abriana, this is their zinc, 2.5 times 4. Is this 4? Why do you have 2.5 times 4? Where did you get 4 from? Let me see what the others have here so far. Okay, I don't see anyone working on the zinc yet. All right, so I see 2.5 times Joshua Walters, 2.5 times 3/4. All right. Now, Ramona Lewis, I see you say 18 sheets of zinc, but remember now, the whiteboard is for me to see your workouts, to see if you are on the right track, where you might be making an error, and so on. All right, so I'm still scrolling here, but I'm not really seeing much work of the whiteboard. All right, so Tiana Tinker has actually posted the question here. I guess she posted it so she has the question to look at after. Very good in doing that. You can always go back to, all right, let me see here. All right, so I'm not really seeing much workout in regards to the zinc. So let's go back to the question and let's talk more about it. Now, basically what we have here so far is where we say we're gonna put on the roof, but the zinc. So for example, this is the zinc we're talking about. Remember, we know the dimensions, and we know that we have 9 meters coming this way, and we have 4.5 meters going the other way. Now, when you look at it now, we have to think about it. If we have 4.5 meters going the other way, it simply means then that the least amount of zinc we can use to cover the top part of the roof is 4.5. Now, the dimension of the zinc that we're talking about has 2.5 meters by 3/4 meters. So the short part, I'm just going to do a drawing of the zinc here. And I'm going to say, all right here is the 2.5. The long part of the zinc is 2.5 meters. And the short part of the zinc is 3/4 meters. And 3/4 as a decimal is what? You might want to either change the 3/4 to a decimal, or you might want to change the 2.5 to a fraction. Whatever way you want to think about it. So Gaveno Buchanan says 3/4 is 0.5 meters, 0.75 meters. So I'm just going to write that here. But of course, you don't need to write decimals. You can use fractions too for both parts. Thank you, guys. All right, so this is the zinc. And say, for example, we are going to organize it like the flat one here. But we know that if we have a 2.5 and we set our zinc, I don't know if I hope you're seeing, let me use a white color. Say, for example, we're setting our zinc like this. So this is our zinc on our flat roof. And we're doing a few. Don't watch my drawing. I'm trying my best to do it properly. It means then that if we have 2.5 coming this way for the zinc, but this dimension is actually 4, we might need to just put another zinc on top of the other one until we have 4 meters, or we need to let some of it hang off on the edge. You know, like when it rains, the water might just run off the side of the chicken coop, no problem. So we can have it like this. So it means then that we will have 2 zinc. We will have them kind of doubling up, kind of overlapping in a way, so that at least we have 4 meters covering the top of the coop. So we can have it doubling up like this. But say, for example, we did it like this. You know that once we are talking about it looking slanted like this with the dimensions, it means that we are taking up a shorter portion for right here. So say, for example, now we cut this thing here so in half. Just in our minds, we know that part of the zinc, one of the zinc will be coming this direction here. So this is basically 2.5 coming here, and the next side, I hope you're seeing what I'm drawing on the screen here, is about another, is basically another zinc going 2.5 here. So if you put 2 zinc, so basically then 2 zinc will have to be running in the same direction. Whether it's going to look like this and looking a bit diagonal or slanted upright because of how the roof is shaped, or it's going to be one like this flat house top, rooftop here, and basically the zinc will be overlapping. So we can choose whichever one. I hope you understand that, what I'm explaining there. So it's either one or the other. Now that would cover the 2.5 edge. But let's look at this. Remember the dimension originally from right here going all the way across to right here is 9 meters. Remember that dimension is 9 meters. I'm going to draw it here so as well. Remember that this dimension here so is basically 9 meters. So in that case then, the 2.5 is this going this way, 2.5 zinc giving us 5 meters going this way, provided that piece will just hang off and so on, because we're not going to cut the zinc. We buy some sheets of zinc, we're not going to cut it, we're going to just overlap it like this, so that we're covering that 4 meter of roof, or 4 meter that we would need to cover. We will have extras hanging off the side, and that is fine, because if you look in your own, if you have zinc for your rooftop, or you would know persons with zinc for their rooftop, you realize that sometimes at the side we have a little hanging off, right? We have a little hanging off. It's not just exact to it. Yes, very good. So I see persons there agreeing with me on YouTube that certainly you know you have an idea of how the zinc usually set on top of a house or on top of a building. So we have used this side now. So the 0.75 is basically right here. How many 0.75 will we need going across to get this 9 meter dimension? We have 0.75 meters. Let me get another color. We have 0.75 meters, and when after explaining this, I will need someone to explain it again for everyone in a different way. So see, we have 0.75 meters here of this zinc. We have another 0.75 because we need to continue to cover the house top. How many zinc will we have going across? On the flat rooftop here, so how many sheets of zinc will we have going across here at the edge? If we're looking at this other rooftop, and it's up to you, depends on which one you're using, how many zinc will we have going this direction here? How many zinc will have covering right here? And if so, if we have some covering one side of this part here, how many we will need on the other side? And if we have one zinc right here, so, and we're overlapping it with another zinc, how many zinc will we have in all on the top of the roof? I need persons to think about that. I need person to think about that. Is there anyone here on the Zoom who understands? Just type and let me know if you understand what we're working on, and I will ask you to explain for everyone. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, no problem. So before I select someone to explain, let me go over this one more time. I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to clear my drawings. It says here we're going to put the roof on the chicken coop. We have two chicken coops here. I'm going to work with the top one so far. So if you want to work with the bottom one, no problem. So I'm going to work with this top one so far. I'm going to try my best to have straight lines and proper lines so we can all see clearly. All right, so remember in the beginning, we have the dimensions of the chicken coop, the flooring of the chicken coop. And if it's going to be like a cuboid, so if the floor is a rectangular shape, it means that the top would most likely have a rectangular shape before we put on the zinc and everything on it. So basically, we now need to use that dimension of the flooring to determine the dimension of the part with the roof. Now, if we're going to use zinc, the zinc can be either exact for the roof or it can have a little extra hanging off the side. Understand me so far? I'm just explaining that part. Do you understand that part so far? We can have the zinc covering the roof exactly, or it could be hanging off a little, just like this picture you're seeing here. All right, good. So with that said, now we know the dimensions. The dimension is that the long side of the cube will be what dimension? The long side of the cube is measure how much? I'm seeing persons posting answers, but I'm not seeing correct answers as yet. The long side of the cube is what dimension? All right, so here goes. The long side of the cube is right here. And the short side of the cube is what dimension? We're talking about the flooring, you know, guys. Because the flooring is what will help us to determine what color is best to use here, to determine the top part. So the short side, I hope you're seeing this black and white color that I'm using. I don't think they're actually good colors to use. Let me try using this yellow. All right, should be a little better. And the short side is 4.5 meters. All right, so us knowing all of that now, we can determine how to place the zinc on top of the roof. This here is the zinc. And we have some dimensions of the zinc. We said that the short side of the zinc is 0.75 or 3/4 meters. So I'm going to write 0.75. It's the same thing. That is the short side of the zinc. The short side measures 0.75 meters. The long side of the zinc measures 2.5 meters. Remember, you can't, based on the size of the zinc and the size of the chicken coop, one zinc cannot cover the entire chicken coop. So we need more than one zinc. We need plenty zinc to cover the chicken coop. So persons who I'm explaining it step by step. All right, so this is the zinc, and we need a few of these to cover this chicken coop. If you look at the chicken coop, you will also realize, that, different color, you'll realize that if you're using this layout, you'd realize that basically the amount of zinc you have will be divided into two, because the same amount you need on one side of this roof, you're going to need it on the other side. So you understand this, the zinc, some zincs will cover here, but it's the same amount you have here will cover the other side. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just draw some zinc basically on top of this roof. The long end of the zinc will go this direction. So the long end of the zinc will come this direction. So basically, I'm just gonna draw some zincs looking like this. Please follow what I'm doing, because I'm trying my best to ensure I explain clearly. So basically, this is one zinc. This part here I have in red, this is one zinc. Go ahead, Clarence. Are you able to unmute? All right, hold on a little. Hold on a little. I don't want to lose anyone in the middle. So says this right here is one zinc. This is one zinc here. So basically the short part of this zinc here will be 0.75 meters. And the long part will be 2.5 meters. Now it doesn't matter that the zinc is 2.5 meters coming this way, and it's going to be 2.5 going the other way, because basically that is 5 meters going across the top of the chicken coop. And we only need 4. If we have some hanging off, that is fine, because we understand that when roof is on house, sometimes we have piece of the zinc hanging off at the sides. No problem with that. So, however, but we know that is basically this dimension. But we know the short part here so is 0.75. How many 0.75 will we need to complete this 9 meters? Because this length is 9 meters. We need to know then how many 0.75 we will need to complete the 9 meters. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to also try to draw some more zincs on this house top, because we have to continue putting on zincs here. But of course, we can use calculations. How many zinc can we have? How many zinc will we need to have to cover this roof? So far I've put on 2 zinc on top of the house. So if I've put on 2 zinc on top of the house, and right here, this dimension, the longest side is 9 meters. It means that 0.75 meters plus 0.75 meters is that is what we have covered from the roof. So 0.75, all right, I see new answers coming in. I see new answers coming in the chat, but I need explanations too. I need explanations. All right, I need explanations. So I see persons obviously try understanding a little more now. All right, so going across for this 9 meters, then 9 meters dimension. How many sheets of zinc will be going across on one side of this chicken coop? Just one side. Go ahead and tell me how many sheets of zinc for one side of a chicken coop. That's all I want persons to tell me. All right, I see persons saying 12 sheets in the chat there on YouTube. Some persons saying 12. Okay, all right. I see persons saying 12. All right, so I want to know for one side of a chicken coop. That is all I'm asking, for one side. And I'm going to stop there. All right, Clarence, I see you said you are able to explain, so I will allow you to explain, because I want everyone to hear your voice, or all your students here voice more than mine. And then see Kame coming in with some explanation. She has 9 divided by 0.75 equals 12. I'm going to allow Clarence, who says he can explain, to explain for us. Hold on, let me go ahead. Raise your hand, Clarence, so you're okay, there you go. All right. Go ahead and explain for us, Clarence.
Miss. So my explanation may be a little long, but
No problem.
Miss, could you go on my whiteboard, Miss?
What was that?
What, Miss? Though my whiteboard.
Oh, you want me to go to the whiteboard?
Yes, Miss.
All right.
It's a very long explanation, Miss.
All right.
Miss, could you go back a few pages, or do I have to go back a few pages?
You have to go back a few pages. So you just go
Okay,
back a few pages and you can explain and just keep skipping the pages as you move ahead.
okay, Miss. So I'm reconnecting. So this is where I am. So Miss, this is it. So it says that Miss we already established that 3.13 over 4 is 0.75, Miss. So so we already established that that's 0.75 meters, Miss. So what I did, Miss, I did the area of the chicken coop, Miss. And the area of the chicken coop, Miss, would be 40.5. And then after the 40.5, Miss, we find the area of the zinc,
The
which
area,
would be
remember the area. All these things comes with units. So 40.5 what?
meters, 40.5 meters.
Area?
40.5 meters, Miss.
Meter
And
square.
meter squared. Sorry, Miss.
All
40.5
right.
meters. And then for the area of the zinc, it would be 1.75 meters squared. Then what I did now, Miss, I divided 40.5 times. Miss, I multiplied 40.5 times 100, and I got 4,050. And then I multiplied 1.75 times 100 because I was planning to divide, and you can't divide two decimals. So when I divided, Miss, I
Take
got
your
20.
time. Persons are trying to understand what you're saying. Continue.
So when I divided, I got 23.142. So now, Miss, because I got 23.142, Miss, because this isn't Miss, because this is zinc, Miss, and we want to be safe, Miss, I would put it to 24. I'd round it up to 24 so that we have the because it's zinc, Miss, we have to round it up because if we get even a Miss, because we can't have like a leftover piece of zinc like that. So I put it up to
Okay.
24, and you said what's the area for one side. So the area for one side would be 24 divided by 2, and I got 12.
All right. All right. Thank you. So you have approached it differently
Yes, Miss,
than
very
I
different.
did, but you came up with the correct answer as well. Very good. So you have explained it in a different way, and I hope persons understood what you explained.
Miss, I don't think,
So right.
Miss,
So there was someone else. Yes. Okay. There was someone else who said they would like to explain. Who was it again? Someone else who said they would like to explain. All right. Okay. I thought I saw someone else who said they would like to explain. All right. So thank you so much, Clarence, for your explanation. And okay. All right, Tiana, you said you wanted to explain? All right. Maybe she has changed her mind. No problem with that. All right. So basically, yes, I see persons saying we need 24 sheets of zinc, and you're correct. But before I go there, I would like to go back to what I started to do with you in the first place. We're talking about the sheets of zinc. So, okay, guys, yes, thank you. So for right here, we're talking about the nine meters coming across here. So we need to know how many 3/4 meters how many 3/4 meters we can get there from that 9 meters. Persons have done their calculations and they have divided the 9 by 0.75 because they need to know how many sheets of zinc we can get coming this direction. So annotate. So right here where we have this dimension here and we have zinc, the width of the zinc being 0.75, we need to know how many 0.75 we can get coming this way. So that means then we're going to divide 9 by 0.75, and person said they did their calculation and they got 12. So 12 sheets of zinc is needed for one side of the chicken coop. If 12 sheets of zinc is needed for one side of a chicken coop, how many will be needed for the next side? And if 12 is needed for one side, how many will be needed for the entire roof of the chicken coop? Those are some things we're thinking about, and those are some things we have to figure out to answer. So we need to now double the amount of zinc on one side of a chicken coop to get how much we need in all. So 12 multiplied by 2 will give us 24, because if we're doubling, we're multiplying by 2, or we're just adding 12 plus 12, which will still give us 24. For the persons who tried or who decided to use this model here, now, what I was saying to you is that because it's flat and the dimension here is basically 4 meters, but if you use one zinc, which is 2.5 meters, it will be too short, and so you will need to use 2 sheets of zinc to come this direction. You need to use 2 sheets of zinc to come this direction. And so since you're using 2 sheets of zinc, you'll need to double, you need to overlap the zinc so they can hold. It will be the same way to calculate for this one. So it's basically you're doubling the zinc. Piece of zinc right here, so, and piece right here, so, or a whole zinc, sheet of zinc here, a hole here. But when you double it, when you overlap them, you will have less space, but no problem, because you can, once you have at least 4 meters of zinc coming across this direction, you should be good. All right, so yes, Clarence said that he got 24 and piece of zinc was hanging off, but that is fine. All right, so those are some ways to explain this question, more than one ways. I looked and I saw where persons, there are a lot of persons who did not really do anything on the whiteboard, so we're going to work with the ones who actually did. So we need 24 sheets of zinc. We need 24 sheets of zinc to cover the chicken coop. So I hope persons at least understand, whether they understand full way or part way or so on. But if you're not understanding it fully, you can always go back, especially to how Clarence explained his. You can always go back and you can listen to this video at the end to figure out how we got this answer. But I realize that a majority of us here seem to understand so far. So take a screenshot and let's move on to the next question. All right, so zincs are being sold for $650 per sheet. How much will the brothers need for zinc? Zincs are being sold for $650 per sheet. How much will the brothers need for zinc? So how much money will the brothers be paying for zinc? So you know how many sheets of zinc is needed, and you know how much for one sheet. So can you now tell me how much money will they spend to buy zinc? So you had said we need 24 sheets of zinc. You have done your calculation, 24 sheets of zinc. Oh my goodness, I see people answering already. All right. So I see persons answering already, but I will wait on the others. I'll wait on the others to do their calculation. I will also go over to the whiteboard to see what the answer is, what calculations they actually did to get this answer. So there are 24 sheets of zinc and there's $650 for one sheet. I see person saying 1,500, but I don't know if they're talking about money. I see person saying 15,600. dollars. Michaela says 15,600. So did Soup Loop, so did Gavino. Izuku, I see you have 15,600, but where is your unit? We're talking about dollars. So put your dollar sign on it. $15,600. All right. So I'm going to go over to the whiteboard and I'm going to look at your calculations. All right. Let me go to the top and scroll down. All right. I see a Brianna Butner 24 multiplied by $650. Is a Brianna in the Zoom? A Brianna, are you on Zoom or are you on YouTube? All right. I'm not sure where Abriana is. If she's on Zoom, because I think I want Abriana to. Okay, Abriana, I would want you to explain here. Why did you do this calculation? Let me go ahead and unmute. Abriana. Okay. Just raise your hand, Abriana, so you're at the top. Okay, there you go. I keep losing you. I want you to explain why did you choose to answer this the way you did. Go ahead and unmute. Abriana, go ahead and unmute.
Yes, the reason why I choose to times it by times the 650 by 24 is because they had to use 24 sheets of zinc for the cube, and then then the money for one sheet would be 650. So I times the 24 by the 650, and then I got the $15,600 for this sheet.
Dollars. All right. Do we agree? Do we agree with Abriana? If we do, I want to see agree in the chat. We agree with Abriana? Is that what we did and come up with our $15,600? Welcome, Duan J. Is that what you did? All right. So yes, Abriana, they're agreeing with you. Brilliant. That is what I'm expecting that persons will do. All right. So you know how much for one sheet of zinc, $650, and you know how many sheets of zinc you need. So if you do your multiplication and you find the product, yes, certainly. The brothers will need to pay $15,600. Awesome, guys. All right. So the answer is there. $15,600 for zinc. You can go ahead and you can do your screenshot. But of course, you can always go back. I see Nikela with some calculations here in the chat. Very good, Nikela. You can always go back and you can watch this and listen to the explanations given to get more clarity. All right. Now, let us move on to this part of the task. It says based on the size coop they have, they now have to consider how many chicks can hold in there at once. They need to know how much chicken can hold into the chicken coop. So the regulation here based on this task is that in chicken coop, one chick should have a space of half square meter. So they need to have a minimum space of half square meter because we can't have all the chicken, all the baby chicks in the coop, and they need space to grow. That is at least one need of a living thing. Living things need space to grow. Animals and plants, we need space to grow. And so here with the chicken, the baby chicks, the chicken that will become mature adult chicks, they need at least half square meter. The question is, what is the majority of chicks that they can buy? What is the majority of chicks they can buy? There are different aspects to this. What can you do first? What will you need to do first to figure out how many chicken the brothers can buy? All right, so Nicalia says 100 chicken, but did you calculate this, Nicalia? Remember now, you have to first think about the size chicken coop, don't it? Don't you have to think about the size chicken coop before you know how many chicken can hold in there? Of course, definitely. You have to think about the size chicken coop. If you don't think about the size of the chicken coop, you cannot know how many chickens can hold. As a person saying 50. Remember now, if you're answering, it's 100 chicks, it's 50 chicks. You need to tell us what. You need to ensure you answer, whether you answer in a sentence or you write the number and you write chicks. Ramil says 30 chicken. Now, you have to think about this question. What's the first thing you need to find here? What's the first thing would you need to figure out here? If you're to find how many chicks can hold in that chicken coop, what's the first thing you need to find? Go ahead and put your answers in the chat. What's the first thing? 27 meters soup loop was the perimeter, the length of mesh. You need to find the area of the chicken coop. Thank you, Chanel. And thank you, Ronaldo. You need to find the area of the chicken coop. Yes, Estimina. Measure the size of the chicken coop. All right. So we definitely need to find the size of the chicken coop, the area of the flooring of the chicken coop. Now remember we started out with our dimensions. We have been looking at different dimensions based on the different thing, the attributes that we're talking about there. So if we're talking about the area of the flooring of a chicken coop, what will the area be? That's the first thing we must think about. What will the area be? How will you calculate the area? What will the area of the chicken coop be? All right, so we need to find, Casey, not need to find the dimension of the chicken coop. We already have the dimensions of the chicken coop. So can someone type the dimensions in the chat so persons who are just joining can see what dimensions you're working with? Go ahead and type the dimensions in the chat. Remember, we're talking about area, we're talking about two dimensions, length times width. But if we're talking about volume, Alicia, we're talking about the length, the width, the height. Go ahead, guys, and someone, at least one person, can go ahead in the chat and just type the dimensions that we're working with. So the persons who are just joining know what dimensions we're working with. Because if you join at this stage in the performance task, you won't understand where we're coming from. All right, Sajani, I see you type the dimension, but that's the dimension for the zinc. We're talking about the flooring now. All right, thank you. The dimensions are 4.5 meters by 9 meters. Very good, most user. Thank you for posting. And thank you for posting here as well on Zoom. The dimensions of the chicken coop, and I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to draw and just draw a chicken coop here, just a sketch. I'm just gonna make just a sketch of the flooring of the chicken coop. So this is just a sketch of the chicken coop, and these are the dimensions: 9 meters wide, 4.5 meters long. There you go. So these are the dimensions, and we need to see how many chicks can hold here in this space here. So I need persons now. You guys had said that we need to first find the area. What is the area? What is the area of this chicken coop? As Stacy says, area is 22.5. We cannot say, as a Clarence say 40.5, but I am not seeing anyone putting any unit here. I have no idea what this area is going to be. If because the area cannot be 2.5 and it cannot be 40.5. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica says 40.5 meters square. Meet area is measured in squared units. Area is measured in squared units. You multiply one dimension by another. Length times width. And so your answer, thank you, Rena, 40.5 square meters. 40.5 meters square. When you're writing it, you write the M before the little 2, yes. But when you're actually saying it, 40.5 square meters. There we go. Very good. So I see persons telling us the area. 40.5 square meters. Very good. Now, with that being said, I want you to tell me then, how many chicks can hold in this chicken coop? Because it says that one chick should have at least half square meters. What's the majority of chicks that can hold here then? Okay. And remember, your answers must come in a sentence. All right. Let me see. I see persons saying 81 chicks. Some says 150 chicks. I see Deandra saying 81 chicks. And so is Crack F. Guys in the chat on YouTube, please be respectful of each other. And I see Dominic Jones saying 81 chicks. Now I see a lot of persons saying 81, but 81 what? Some persons saying 81 chicks. I'm just going to head over to the whiteboard to see the kind of workout that you guys are doing over there. Jelani Morgan, are you able to explain your answer? Okay, I will unmute you. Did you work out on the whiteboard as well? I will unmute you in a minute, Jelani, so that you can explain to us what you did. All right, in the meantime, guys, I'm waiting for the other persons to show they're working here on the whiteboard. All right. Okay. All right, Jelani. So since you came late, what I will do is I will allow you to annotate on the board and explain your answer. But in the meantime, I sent the link. You can do it on the whiteboard if you wish. But I'm going through the answers here. All right, so I see Clarence, 40.5 divided by 0.5 equal 81. Answer is 81 chicks. Let me see what the others have done. Okay. Where are the others? I'm not seeing it. Okay. Okay, I see Rejane, but Rejane, you have to have your answer. You need to write chicks here if you're talking about chicks. All right, very good. 40.5 divided by 0.5 is equal to 81 chicks. All right, let me see right here. Ramona Reynolds. Ramona, you have found the area. Awesome. But we're working out. How many chicks can hold? All right, let me see what the others have done. Rena, not finished. All right. 81 chicks. All right, very good. Okay, I'm not seeing everyone's work. All right, I see Chanel still writing 4.40.5. I'm assuming that there are points here. Divided by 0.5 is equal to 81 chicks. All right. Let me see the others. Okay. So that's it for the explanations I'm seeing here. So I will go and I will allow, who's the one again, to explain how they got their answer. Let me allow you to unmute. Please to just raise your hand so I will see at the top. Raise your hand so I can see at the top so I can unmute you to explain. Jelani Morgan, raise your hand so I can select you to explain. All right, good. All right, you can go ahead and unmute Jelani. Jelani?
Yes, miss.
Okay, go ahead and
Yes,
explain to us.
yes. So the chicken coop is 40.5 meters square miss, and a chick can hold up to half square meter. So we need like one chick can end up to one, two chicks can end up to one per meter miss. So because you have 40 miss, you need to divide 40 by how many chicks can roll into 4.5 minutes plus the other 5 minutes and plus you need to add also need to time that by 2 so put that use that to the 81 minutes to the 80 to the 81 chicks and fit in one food.
Yes. All right. All right. Thank you so much, Jalani. Very good. I liked your explanation. Is there anyone else who would like to explain as well? I see Michael. Yusef Michael. Do you want to explain? Type yes in the chat or no. All right. All right. Go ahead, Yusef. Oh, he doesn't want to explain. All right. So let me see if there is one more person who wants to explain. That's Dante. Raise your hand, Dante, so you can come to the top of the list. All right. Go ahead and unmute and you can go ahead and explain. Yes, Dante? All right, we're not hearing anything from you, Dante. We're not hearing anything from you. All right, Leona Edwards, unmute and explain.
Means I multiply the length of the zinc by 9, and then I divide it by 405. 405 by 5, and I got 81.
405 by what?
5.
Okay, can you tell us why you did 405 divided by 5?
I divided by 5. Oops, I can't really explain.
How did you get 405? And how did you get 5?
Means when I multiply 4.5 by 9, I got 440.5, and then I divide it by 5.
All right. Think about how you got that in think about how you got that answer. So think about how you got that answer. You got your 405 divided by 5 because you would not have 405 unless you did something. So think about what you will need to do then to get that. How did you come up with that? You have to have your explanation from start to finish. All right. So we can't really start in the middle. All right. Go ahead, Kame. Go ahead, unmute and explain to us how you got your answer.
Miss, first I converted a half that is equal to 0.5, Miss. Then I found the area by multiplying 4.5 by 9 and I got 40.5. Then I divided 40.5 by 0.5 and I got 81.
All right. All right. Thank you. All right. So I'm hearing a lot of very good explanations here, but I also want to see some workout. That's the only way others will understand who didn't understand initially. So I'm going to just scroll down and look at somebody's explanation here to see what we have. All right. So I'm seeing some explanations so far. All right, I'm seeing additional explanations. All right, so let's think about this now. Let's look at this chicken coop that we have. I'll go ahead and I'll draw it back. Say for example, that's our chicken coop. In our chicken coop, we have 9 meters at the top, or whichever dimension, and we have 4.5 at the sides, whichever dimension. 4.5 meters, 9 meters. So remember now that we're talking about square meters. So basically, if we divide this, if we divide this into 1 meters coming down, we can, let me just go ahead and divide this because I want persons to understand how to solve this question. All right, so it seems we have 9 meters coming down and we have 4.5 going across. So this is, all right. Okay, so basically the part at the bottom should be a little smaller. It should really be, this should really be in half. Let me just kind of make it a little smaller, just fill up the space so it looks a little smaller. All right. So if you look at this here, you would realize we have cut this. So basically in one little part here, this little part, use a different color and highlight it. In right here between here is basically 1 square meter. And if half square meter is for 1 chick, it then means that 1 square meter is for how many chicks? How many chicks can hold in 1 meter? How many chicks can hold in 1 meter? Very good. 2 chicks. Very good. 2 chicks can hold in 1 meter. So it therefore means then that if we go ahead and we continue like that, we can always just know that each of that is 2 chicks and we can keep adding them 2 chicks, or we can multiply 9 by 2 to see how many right here and the other dimensions coming down here 4.5. So we have 2 chicks, 2 chicks, 2 chicks, and if we're to complete this in a simple way, we can always go ahead and add the amount of 2 chicks that we have, or we know the area of this is 40.5 square meters. If we divide this by 2, we should get the amount of chicks that can hold. So when we divide this by 2, we divide 40 by 2, we divide 40 by 2, the two chicks that can hold, we can figure out how many chicks can here. So each meter here, basically we need to multiply, not divide, because right here we have 241 square meter. So not divide, we need to multiply. So for every 1 meter, we have two chicks. So we multiply 2 by 40 and we get 80. And we multiply 2 by a half and we get 1. So 80 plus 1 will give us 81 chicks can hold here. So I see persons doing it some other ways, simpler ways, and that's fine. So we have 81 chicks, not 18 chicks, Gavina. 81 chicks can hold in this, given that 1 square meter can hold 2 chicks, or half square meter is for 1 chick. All right, very good. All right, take a screenshot, guys. Take a screenshot and we move on to the next part. Of course, we are almost to the end, because remember now there are many things here that we are working on, and we have worked on different parts. We work on the zinc, work on the mesh, and we work on how many chicken we can buy. So here we have 40.5 meters square is the area, and we can buy 81 chicks. All right, so let me clear this and we go to the next question. The brothers went to check the 2 farm stores that are in their community. So in the community, there are 2 farm stores, and the brothers are checking these farm stores to see which one is best to shop, because they're on a budget. So really, they're checking to see which one is going to be cheaper, because they're on a budget. Remember now, the grant is supposed to be $75,000 if they actually get it. So they have to be thinking where they would buy if they actually got the grant. All right. So yes, I see persons sharing their answers still. Yes, definitely 2 chicks will hold in 1 square meter. It's very good. All right. So here we have the price for the chicks. We have how the price for the chicks at Nitro Farms and Farmer's Choice. So these are the 2 farm stores that are in their community. So Nitro Farms, Farmer's Choice. So we have 80 chicks. How much for 80 chicks? How much for chicken feed? How much for 1 bag of chicken feed? How much for 1 feeding pan or 1 feed pan? And how much for 1 waterer? So we need to know, we need to know which of these is the better choice. Now, there is also some information that we must think about here. It says, no, we can't just look at it and know which one is the better choice, because if you realize we have different prices for the different things at different farm stores. But it said for every 20 chicks, they need a feeding pan, and for every 36 chicks, they need a waterer. So 20 chicks, 1 feeding pan, 30 chicks, 1 waterer. Now, we need to think about that so that we can calculate how many feeding pan we need and how many waterers we need. 80 chicks need a total of 12 bags of feed to last them until their maturity. So when they're ready for them to sort out and to pluck them and so on, we need 12 bags to last them from them come as baby chicks until they're mature chickens. 12 bags of feed. All right, so go ahead and do your calculations. And also, I would like for you to do it on the whiteboard so I can come and see what you have done. And also tell us which one is the better choice. And you can't just give us an answer. I need to see your calculations, and I need to see what you have compared, why you compared the way you did. So you have to ensure that you're working it out, whether on your book or you're going to do it on the whiteboard so I can see. I would prefer the whiteboard so I can see what is happening. Now, for those who say they don't understand this part, go ahead and read the question for yourself and see how you would start to answer the question. All right, so go ahead. Is it Farmer's Choice? Is it Nitro Farms? How do you know? Have to show your calculations. Take a screenshot of this so when I go on the whiteboard, you would already have the question and you can continue working. Welcome to those who are just joining us. All right. Okay. All right, so I will start going on the whiteboard now to see what persons are doing. And before I go, let me just read this back again because we all need to have the understanding of how to solve this question. It says that the brothers went to check 2 farm stores in their community to see which one would be best to shop because they are on a budget. For every 20 chicks, they need a feeding pan, and for every 30 chicks, they need a waterer. So they need to know how many feed pan they will need, how many waterers. Maybe I should ask you that before I go to the whiteboard. The whiteboard. How many feed pan will they need? How many how many waterer? Type it in the chat, but you have to ensure you type it in a sentence. I don't know which one you'll if you just have a number. Dash feed pan dash waterer. How many do they need? How many do they need? How many feeding pan will they need? If for every 20 chick there should be a feeding pan, how many feeding pan will they need? Remember now, you first have to know how many chicks you will have. So how many feeding pans? So here it tells you how much of 80 chicks. You can choose to buy 80 chicks because you will not be exceeding the amount that can hold in the cube. But if you even buy 81, how many feed pan will you need? How many water? Okay, Dominique Jones say 4 feed pan. How do you know it is 4 feed pan, guys? Is there anyone who can tell me how do you know it is 4 feed pan? Type in the chat. 4 feeding pan, how do you know? How would you know? So there are 81 chicken or 80 chickens or whatever. How do you know how many feed pan you will need? Kimoya, can you explain to us how many feed pan we will need for how many chicken you're buying? Because at the end of the day now, you need to know. So tell me if you're able to explain for us, Kimoya. I will unmute you. All right. All right, see, Dante says he can explain. Go ahead and raise your hand, Dante, so I can find you at the top. Go ahead, Dante. How do you know? Dante, I'm not hearing you. So I think you might need to work on your mic a little more. I'm not hearing you, Dante, but you can type in the okay, Dante. I realize you can type in the chat. Is there anyone else who would like to explain instead? Who would like to explain and tell us why do we need 4 feed pan? Okay, Clarence, let me unmute you. Raise your hand so you're at the top of the list, please. Jessica says because they're 80 and 80 divided by 20 is equal to 4. Let's hear if Clarence agrees with you, Jessica.
Yes,
Clarence, go ahead and explain.
Miss, I would agree with Jessica, Miss, that we would need 4 feeding pans, Miss, because we have 80 chicks, and then for every 20 chicks we need a feeding pan. So 20 into 80 goes 4 times. So we know that we would need 4 feeding pans.
All right, very good. Thank you. And I see Rena also saying 4 feed pan because 20 plus 20 plus 20 plus 20 gives us 80. So she added 20 until she got the 80. Very good. So how many waterers will we need? Come on, guys. We're almost finished. But tell me, how many waterers will we need? I see persons saying 4 waterers or 4 water pans. So it says here for every 30 chicks, we need a waterer. For every 30 chicks. Tyrell Powell, would you like to explain your answer? All right. Rajani, please raise your hand so I can see at the top of the list so you can explain. All right, I see you here. Open your mic, Rajani, and explain why do we have 3 water pans? Rajani? Okay, I don't see your unmuting. All right. All right. Who else would like to explain? Please raise your hand and I will select you at the top. All right. I'm not seeing the persons here. I see Clarence hand raised. Clarence, would you like to explain? Go ahead and unmute if so.
Okay, Miss, Miss, am I explaining the water, Miss, or the feedback?
Okay, just explain the waterer because we have done the feeding pan already. So explain for the waterer.
Miss, because waters, Miss, for every 30 chicks, Miss, you need 1 water, Miss. What I would do, Miss, I would see Miss 30 cannot go into 80. So Miss, what we would do, Miss, we would add 30 plus 30, and then we see that that would be 60, which is less than 80. So we add another 30, and then we see that that would be 90, which is more than 80. So we would say 90, and that would be 3 waters.
All right, so I heard you said initially that 30 cannot go into 80, but of course 30 can go into 80. You can get 2 groups of 30 in 80 and you can get another group less than 30. So how many water pans you said we need? How many waterers do you say we need? 3. All right, very good. However, I want some clarification. Yes, we can round it to 3, but it can still be divided into 80 because 80 is larger than 30. So we certainly can divide. When we divide 30 into 80, we get 2 waterers and we at least have 20 remaining. So the 20 chicken that are there, they need a waterer too. So we need a third waterer, and that's why we need 3 waterers. Very good. Very good, Joshua Anderson. I see you as well, and Talisa, Lifestyle, and Izuku. I see you guys posting in the correct answers, and I'm also seeing explanations. All right. Yes, we need water pans for the group of chicken. Certainly, because they need something to eat from and something to drink water from. Of course, we're not going to be dividing the chicken coop and say, okay, you 30 drink from this one and you 30 drink from this one. No, we're not going to be doing that. But for to ensure that if all the chicken all of them need water at a particular time. We have water to be enough for them. So we're using these stipulations here. 30 chicks, 1 to 1 water. All right, so go ahead now. I know you are doing your calculations. I'm going on the whiteboard because I need to see what you guys have been working on so far. So I'm going on the whiteboard to see the calculations you have done for this. All right, so let me scroll down. Abriana. Abriana says 1,200 times 20 equals 24,000. All right, not sure what you're calculating here. Abriana, go down some more. Okay, I see Clarence here. Nitro Farm 6,005 plus 1,800 times 12 plus 1,200 times 4 plus 1,500 times 3 equals $37,400 for Nitro Farms. For Farmer's Choice, 7,200 plus 1,740 times 12 plus 1,400 times 1,400 times how many, Clarence? Look at this right here. How many feed pan are you multiplying this by? Look at this. Make your corrections there and you're going very good so far. So don't be dismayed. We all will make a little error sometimes. Go ahead and see how best you can fix that. Make your correction there. All right, let me see if there's anyone else who is working on it. Okay, Mikira. Okay, good. So I see here feeding pan 4 times 1,200 equal 4,800 water. Nitro 4, 5, okay. Farmer's choice 4, 2. Okay. Okay, I'm not really sure of all the calculations you have here, Mikira Hall. Nitro 6,500 times 21,600. I'm not sure what you're calculating. I can see some calculations here, but it's all in a jumble because I'm not sure which one you're calculating with which. So ensure your calculations, someone can understand them. They just pick it up and look at it. All right, scrolling down. Okay, Tisha Nice Sharp. Let me see what you have. Nitro Farms, chicks, chicken feed, okay, all right, okay, all right, Tisha, I see that you're not finished with Farmer's Choice, but I will go through what you have here so far. Are you on Zoom, Tisha Sharp, or are you on YouTube? If you're on Zoom, I would like for you to explain for us. Just type yes in the chat if you're on Zoom. All right. Okay, I guess not. Okay, I think she may be on YouTube. No problem. All right. So what is happening here is that here at Nitro Farms, it says that for the 80 chicks, it costs $6,500. For the chicken feed, it costs $1,800 per one, and we need 12 bags of chicken feed. So if it is that it costs $1,800, $1,800 for one, we need to multiply that by 12 bags to see how much we need in all. So you all can go ahead, do your calculations to ensure that Tisha Sharp is actually correct. So 1,800 multiplied by 12 indeed gives us $21,600. Good. So now with the feed pan, the feeding pan is $1,200 for one, and we need 4. So 4 times $1,200 gives us $4,800. Very good. For the waterer now, or the water pan, $1,500 at Nature Farms. One of them is for $1,500, and we need three. 3 times $1,500 is $4,500. And when we add up how much for the chicks, how much for the chicken feed, how much for the feed pan, and how much for the waterer, based on what Tisha and I has here, it's $37,400. Please go ahead and type in the chat if you agree, if this is the amount of money we will spend over Nature Farms. The brothers, will they spend $37,400 over by Nature Farms? Type in the chat if you agree with that answer so far. Type in the chat if you agree with that answer so far. All right. Okay, Clarence, noted. All right. I see a lot of persons saying they agree. All right. Very good. I'm happy to know that you agree, because I agree with her too. $37,400. You seem to have erased a zero from here, Tisha Nye Sharp. Could you put it back? Thank you. All right. So now we're going over to Farmer's Choice. Let me go and check to see someone else who is finished with Farmer's Choice. No problem. Very good, Tisha Nye Sharp. Let me scroll to see if there's anyone. Zoya, welcome. Zoya Holt. All right, so Farmer's Choice, she has here one, let me see, chicken, $7,200, feeding pan, $20,880. All right, let's see. So over here, over Farmer's Choice, one feeding pan costs, what's the cost for one feeding pan now? Let me just go back here quickly to look. One feeding pan over Farmer's Choice. Oh, chicken feed. One chicken feed costs $1,740. So let me go to see what calculation. So $1,740 multiplied by the 12 bags will give us $20,880. So good job so far, Zoya. So for the chicken feed, it's $20,880. All right, Zoya, okay, good. All right, so for the feeding pan now, we have $4,800. So let me see, how did you get this $4,800? Because I'm not seeing any workout for that one. I'm not seeing any workout for that one. Let me go check to see where there is workout for the feeding pan. All right. We have to show all working, guys, so I can see that you understand. All right. I'm not seeing any calculations here. I'm just seeing answers. All right. So let me go back down here to see what's happening, and I will go ahead and I will. All right. Tisha Nye Sharp. I'm not sure if you're completing your calculations, but I would like to see the completion of your calculation. Since you're showing the workout, I can explain from what you have. So for the feed pan, it says that one feed pan over Farmer's Choice is for $1,200. So if we need 4 feed pans, it's the same as Nature Farms. It will cost $4,800 for all 4 of them. So for the waterer now over Farmer's Choice, we need 3 waterers, and one waterer costs $1,400 over by Farmer's Choice. So let me go and see what calculations will we have. How much will the 3 waterers cost? Go ahead, calculate and share it in the chat, because I'm not seeing anyone with any complete workout. So go ahead and share in the chat. How much will we pay for the 3 waterers at Farmer's Choice? I see Clarence says $3,600. Farmer's Choice. One water costs 1,400. So how much for three? Yusuf says 5,300. I'm not seeing any unit. Dante says 4,200. I don't even know what we're talking about here. Where are the units? Dante says $4,200. Clarence seemed to agree. So if you agree $4,200, go ahead and type your answer in the chat. Rena says $4,200 and Chanel as well. So I guess we're all agreeing. You cannot leave off your dollar sign. Talking about money. Cannot leave off your dollar sign. All right. All right. Very good, guys, so far. So, yes. So, can you now tell me then how much will it cost to spend that farmer's choice? Let me go back to the whiteboard. We know how much it will cost to spend that Nitro Farm. How much will it cost to spend that farmer's choice? So at Nitro Farm is $37,400. How much will everything come to at farmer's choice? I'm starting to see. All right. Person's asking for the link. So let me send the link here as well. Okay, for the persons who are just joining, there you go. All right. Okay, I see Ronaldo saying $11,540. I see. Let me see the answers that you have. I see Soup Loop saying $37,000. $37,080. All right. I see Donita Hutchinson also saying $37,080. So is Clarence. We have to put our dollar sign, guys. So if it is that we're going to calculate, let me go and I need to find, okay, let me go back here. So farmer's choice, $7,200 for the chicks, $20,880 for the chicken feed. Feed pan is $4,800. The waterer is $4,200. Go ahead and do your calculations. Go ahead and calculate. How much for the chicken? How much for all of that? Go ahead and calculate. T Shania Sharp, check your answer here. So 7,200 plus 20,880 plus 4,800 plus 4,200. How much will that come to? Check your answer. Check your calculation, T Shania Sharp. I like to explain from what you have because your answer is detailed. Your answer is detailed. So I like checking from what you have. All right. All right, so to use the whiteboard, everyone, you just click on the link and it will take you to the whiteboard. If you click on toggle my screen or toggle my whiteboard, you will see where you can write. There are different icons up top. You just need to click on the one that looks like a pencil and start writing, or click on the one that looks like you're going to text and you start doing that. And just play around with it until you come up with your answers. All right. So Tisha Nice Sharp, she has all the calculations here. She has all the calculations, but Tisha Nye, I need to see your final answer. So yes, the final answer here is $37,000. $37,080. So you only have 37,000. So check your calculation and ensure you have the correct thing. All right. So persons are all a lot of persons are saying $37,000. So I will go ahead and I will start work out with you guys. So we are all on the same page. So for the chicks, the 80 chicks, we have $7,200. Because even though the chicken coop can hold 81, based on what we're calculating, it's only 80 we plan to buy. So we have $7,200 for the chicks. For the chicken feed, when we have done our calculation, we have $20,880. We have for the feed pan, we have $4,800 when we have done our calculation. And for the waterers, the 3 waterers, we have $4,200. So it's now for us to add what we have for everything to see how much it will cost at Farmer's Choice. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 gives us 0. 0 plus 0 plus 8 plus 0 is 8. 2 plus 8 is 10. You can help me in the chat too. 2 plus 8 is 10. Plus 8, 18. Plus 2, 20. 2 plus 7, 9. Thank you. Plus 0, still 9. Plus 4, 13. Plus 4, 17. Very good. Thank you, Chanel. And then 1 plus 2, 3. Very good. Thank you, Nicalia. And we'll put our little comma in. So we have $37,080. So that means if we have $37,080 for Farmer's Choice and we had $37,400 for Nitro Farms, we can determine which one is most economical to shop. So which one should the brothers shop now? Because in the beginning I saw a person saying, just telling me an answer. So it's best for them to shop at Nitro Farms. Very good. I see your answers coming in. It's best to shop at Nitro Farms. Brilliant. All right. So we're almost at the end. It's best to shop at Nitro Farms. Please to take your screenshot so we can move on here. I see persons saying, oh yes, definitely, you're correcting me. It's best to shop at Farmer's Choice. Good, definitely, it's best to shop at Farmer's Choice because at one. So thank you for correcting me, guys, because this is what it costs at Farmer's Choice, $37,080. But at Nitro Farm, it costs $37,400, which is more than $37,080. So it's best to shop at Farmer's Choice, not Nitro Farms. And Tyler Gilling says it's cheaper, so that is where we shop. Very good. Farmer's Choice because it is cheaper. Donita says Nitro Farm is the better deal. But let's look at the calculation that we have. So Farmer's Choice is the better option. It's cheaper there. All right. All right. Very good. Glad to know you get it now. All right. So let's go. Have you taken your screenshot? Let's go now to the next part of the question. Now we're at the last part. It says here that the brothers applied for the grant and received the check. That's good. They are getting the grant, they're getting the money. So they applied for the grant and they have received the check. Now it says here that before the baby chicks can be placed in the coop, sawdust must be spread on the ground. Do you agree? Type in the chat if you agree. Do you agree that before the baby chicks can be placed in the coop, we must put sawdust on the ground? Of course, man. Sawdust must go on the ground first. Yes. So 1 bag of sawdust is needed for 6 square meters of ground space. Well, you don't know, I don't have to say 40 right now. So you know how to work that out. 1 bag of sawdust is needed for 6 square meters of ground space. So if 1 bag of sawdust costs $170, will the brothers be able to pay for them from the grant? If so, will there be change left over? If not, how much more money will they need? So we need to figure out if 1 bag of salt is for $170, can the brothers use the money that they get for the grant to pay for that? Now, what is the first thing you need to figure out? If they're able to, if change will be left over, or if they need to add more money, what is the first thing you must check out first? All right, what is their current change? The boy says. So how much money did they get? The grant is $75,000 for those who are just joining. The grant is $75,000. So they get $75,000 on the check to buy these things. All right. Yeah, people are agreeing here that they must check what is their current change, but we don't know if they have change. We need to check. What do we need to check? What do we need to check? All right, Tanika Virgo, who seemed to be a pro in chicken coop, says the sawdust dries it out. No, Tanika, well, I will not say it's not so. It dries out what? I don't know. But you seem to know a lot about the chicken coop, so we will agree with you here in regards to that. All right, Ray Shanae say how much money is there. Dante says I need 7 bags of sawdust. But I need to hear persons. Let me know. Persons need to tell me. What do they need? I see persons saying, the money they have left back. What if they don't have any money left back? What do we need to calculate before we know this? Come on, guys. Yes, the sawdust keeps them warm. All right, so they know the money they have. They got $75,000 for the grant. I need to see your answers coming in the chat. They need to know how much money they would spend on all the other things where them already start calculate so far. So they need to check to see how much money they will spend on all the things that they need so far. Yes, how much money they would use. How much money will come out of that $75,000 so far? Remember now, them buy mesh for the cube. Remember that they also bought zinc for the roof. Remember they are thinking of, well, they did not buy them yet, but they calculated. So Chanel says we need to add all the other things that they are buying so far. Yes, Chanel, that's what we need to do. We need to see how much all of those things will come to before we know if they can afford to buy sawdust from the money in the grant. So go ahead and tell me, how much money How much money will they spend so far? How much money will they spend out of the $75,000 so far for everything that they need so far? Go ahead and do your calculations and tell me. I'm looking for answers in the chat, and you can go ahead and you can calculate on the whiteboard so I can see the workout. Go ahead. There's a link for the whiteboard. Go ahead and do your calculations. And guys, please to give me your answer in a sentence. We have been typing some one per money in the chat so far. So I don't know, I will not know which one of these answers is actually how much they have spent. So tell me, how much money did they spend or will they have spent on the other things so far? Will they have change left? What is the change? If so, if they don't have any change left, then if they don't have any change left, then how much more money will they need to buy the sawdust? Go ahead and let us know these things. Okay, Tamisha McKenzie, I've add everything, then take it away from the $75,000. Very good. All right, Jaquan, I see you have an answer here, but I don't know what you're answering to. I see you have $58,680, but what is it you're answering to? Remember, we can't just write a number or something. So in all, what did they spend? Remember how much they're spending at the farm store. How much will they spend at the farm store so far? At the farm store, we said that they will spend what? $37,080. So we know that from the farm store. How much will they spend for zinc? How much will they spend for the mesh? All right. So for the persons who are actually just joining, you will not understand what to do here because you have not been calculating from the beginning. So it's important to start from the beginning. That's the only way you can follow what we're doing in a performance task. It's hard to understand in the middle. So I need to see here. How much will they spend in all? How much did they spend in all? All right. All right. All right, let's do this together then, because I'm not seeing anything coming as yet. How much money will they spend for the zinc? Type those in the chat. Whatever amount will they spend for the zinc? So if they're gonna spend $5, say $5 for zinc. If they're gonna spend this for the mesh, this for mesh. Type that in the chat so we can all. Okay. Chanel is really ahead of me. Chanel says they're gonna spend $21,600 for the mesh. So persons who are just joining, they're going to spend $21,600 for the mesh. Go ahead and write that down because we all need to be on the same page here. $21,600 for the mesh. For the zinc, they're going to spend $15,600. And at the farm store, they're going to spend, so Chanel has given us a rundown. They're going to spend $37,080 at the farm store. All right. So let's see. Let us see. Let me see what the others have posted in the chat here on YouTube. Yusef, it's right there above you. Chanel would have already put them up top, so you know how much for the stuff. All right. I'm not seeing anyone posting here on YouTube in regards to the answer. So I need to know how much will they spend for everything. For the zinc, $15,600. I'm gonna go here to the whiteboard to see what persons have done so far. No problem. I know some of you are busy working, so I will just look at it on the whiteboard here. Okay. All right. Don J is not finished here. Okay. If you're working on your whiteboard, ensure guys you click on the I below the board you're writing on so I can see it. Because if you don't click on it and underneath is green, I won't see that you're working on your board. Okay, so I'm searching to see which of you are working on your board, and I can look at what you have. All right, I'm looking at Mikaira. Very good. So I'm gonna look at Mikaira right here. So far, this is what she has. So far, this is what she has. So she has $37,080. And because we have all been following, we know that $37,080 represent the amount of money that will be spent at the farm store. Then she has $15,600, and that is what the zinc costs. Then she has $21,600, and that is the cost for the mesh. So now these are the things that she need to buy. The things at the farm store, the mesh and the zinc. She did her calculation here. Put a little plus sign right here, so Mikaira, to show us that you're adding. And then she did her calculations. So she added 0 plus 0 plus 0 gives us 0. 0 plus 0 plus 8 gives us 8. 6 plus 6 is 12. So this is 1200, so 200s, carry 1 of the 1,000. 7 plus 1, 8. Plus 5, 13. Plus 1, 14. 4,000, carry 1, 10,000. 1 and 3, 4. Plus 1, 5. Plus 2, 7, 10,000. So here we have 74,280. Now, where is your unit, Mikaira? Put your little dollar sign. Your dollar sign is needed there. $74,280 is what she will need to spend in all from the grant. Now that she's at sawdust, and 1 bag of sawdust is needed to cover 6 square meters of ground space, how many bags of sawdust does she need to buy? How many bags of sawdust? Go ahead and share that in the chat. How many bags of sawdust does she need to buy? Will the brothers need to buy? Not Mikaira. How many bags? So we first need to think about what? What do we need to think about to determine how many bags are needed? How many? What do we need to think about first? If we need to find out how many bags are needed, what calculation or what information based on our calculation do we need? How? How will we figure out how many bags of sawdust is needed? Yes, we need to find out how big the chicken coop is. Yes, but do we know how big the chicken coop is already? If we know how big the chicken coop is already, go ahead and give us the size of a chicken coop. Give us the size of a chicken coop. How big is a chicken scoop? The chicken coop. We have to take it step by step, guys. So I see some persons are jumping ahead, but while you're jumping ahead, I'm not seeing where your answer is correct. So we need to take it step by step. Yes, the chicken coop is 40.5 square meters. 40.5 square meters. So if it is that for every 6 square meter in that 40.5 square meter, we need 1 bag of sawdust. How do we figure out how many bags of sawdust we need? Shari White says divide. What are we dividing? Don Nida says divide 6 square meter by what? What are we dividing? Yes, Sylvester, we can divide, but what are we really dividing? 40.5 divided by 5, Devoy. Is it divided by 5? We're dividing 40.5 square meters, but by what? By 6. Soup Loop says divide by 6. So we're dividing 40.5 by 6. And that will give us how many bags? How many bags will that give us? Share your answers there in the chat. All right, so Yusuf, 6.75 what? Okay, Gaveno says 243 bags. Dante says 6 bags of sawdust with remainder. Chanel says 6 bag. All right, I see Amanda Chow and Soup Loop saying 7 bags. MK is saying 6.75 bags. But when we go buy sawdust, how are we gonna say give me 0.75 bag of sawdust? So how many bags do we need? How are we gonna say don't need a give me 6 3/4 bag? No, it's 1 bag we're buying. So if we have 6.75, how many bags are we expected to buy? We have to round up. We cannot round down. We cannot say 6 bags. We have to round up. So it means then, thank you, Devoy. We round 6.75 to 7. So we need 7 bags. 7 bags. And since this is the last question, I want someone to tell me then. Explain to us. So I want someone to raise their hand here and explain to us. If there will be change left over, and if so, how much? And if no change will be left over and I need more money, how much? All right. Yusuf, I see your hand raised. Go ahead. Did you work on the whiteboard, Yusuf? Somebody say for my fear. All right. I need to hear from someone. I need someone to explain. Will I have change left over? And if so, how much? Devoy. Go ahead, Devoy.
Miss, you will have 120 change left back because since you spend 7 bags and one sawdust bag is $100. One sawdust bag is
170.
$100. How much?
$70. $170 for 1 bag. Is there any Zandre? Would you like to continue? Go ahead. Go ahead, Zandre, and unmute.
what if what me tell us say?
All right. Your background is noisy. Brianna, go ahead and unmute.
Miss, I was saying, Miss, that I do not understand this because I joined late. Miss,
Oh.
can you explain it to me, Miss?
Right. So in order for you to get the full understanding, we have been here for like 2.5 hours. So in order for you to get the full understanding, you will have to watch the video from the beginning because we have done many calculations to get here. So you have to watch the video from the beginning. It's still available on YouTube. When we end, it will be there on YouTube for you to see. All right. So you can go ahead and watch it there to get your understanding because it's a lot to explain after 2.5 hours. Chanel? Go ahead and explain. Open your mic, Chanel, and explain. Okay. Chanel, I'm trying to, yes, go ahead.
Miss, there will be change left over. The change that will be left over will be $120.
How did you get that? How many bags do we need? How many bags do we need, Chanel? Please unmute. Chanel,
Miss, we need
we
Miss,
need
we need 7 bags,
how much for 7 bags of sawdust?
$680.
7 bags of sawdust is how much, Chanel?
$680.
Oh, you need to do your calculation again. 7 bags of sawdust. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the calculations here. So 7 bags of sawdust, one bag is $170 times 7 bags. 7 times 0, 0. 7 times 7, 49. 7 times 1, 7 plus 4, 11. So this is what the sawdust will cost, $1,190. If the sawdust will cost $1,190, thank you, Dante. If the sawdust will cost this, but so far they are spent, they need to, they have spent, let me see, they have spent 74,000. I'm just gonna put everything here. $74,280, and they only have $75,000 in grant. How much would all of this come up to? Will they be spending more than the $75,000 or less? And if they're spending more, how much more? And if they're spending less, what is the change? All right. He got $75,000 Shari with the grant. If you bag, okay, but we're not buying 4 bags, Dante. We're buying 7 bags. 7 bags we need, remember we need 7 bags. So we're buying 7 bags of sawdust. Come on, guys, we will need to end soon. 7 bags of sawdust. So if they have, how much money will they need to spend? Do they have left out of the 75,000 to spend on sawdust? Someone had said that earlier in the chat. All right. All right. Okay, Chanel. Chanel says they'll be spending more because they have to put $470 on it. Chanel, are you willing to explain to us how you figured that out? If so, go ahead and raise your hand so I can select you to explain how you got that. All right. Go ahead and unmute Chanel. I'm not sure why you're not unmuting. Go ahead and unmute Chanel. Go ahead.
This because I take away 720 from 1,190.
What did you say?
Because I take
What did you say you take from 1,190?
$720.
Why did you take away 720 from that? Where did you get 720 from?
Miss, because that was the change that left.
Oh, you have 720 change leave. All right,
Yes,
very good. Continue.
God.
Chanel, go ahead and continue.
That's it. Miss, that's it.
So you took away 720 from what? 1,190 you said. All right, Chanel is now muted. All right, yes, you did that, but I wanted you to finish, Chanel, to tell us what you have left and all those things. The boy, would you like to pick up from what Chanel said? Go ahead and unmute. All right. Uh, Tion, Amelia, Ivy, go ahead and unmute. Yes, Tiona. Tion,
Excuse me, can you explain? Because I don't understand.
are you just joining?
Yes, miss.
So you won't understand at this stage. You have to go back to YouTube and watch the video from the beginning. All right. So we have been here for almost 3 hours, a lot of time. So it's difficult. It's difficult for us to explain at this point. Go ahead and unmute the voice.
Miss, so you subtract if you subtract 75,000 from the 74,280, right? And you're gonna get 820. When I do
You're gonna
that,
get 820?
yes, miss.
Not quite. If you subtract 74,280 from 75,000, you don't get 820. So you have to do that calculation over. So I will continue from what Chanel was saying. Do over your calculation, Devoy. So from what Chanel was saying is that she checked to see what the change will be. So she subtracted $74,000, $74,280 from $75,000, and she got change of $720. But she need $1,190 to buy the sawdust. So when she take out the $720 for the sawdust from the 1,190, she's left with some money that she need to add on to it. So I'm gonna find a space here to work that out. So she has 1,190. That is what the sawdust costs, but she only has $720. So let's go and do our calculation. All right, so we're subtracting 0 from 0. 0. 2 from 9. 7, thank you. 7 from 11. 7 from 11, 4. So $470 is what the brothers will need to add on to that. But a little bit of money that you add on, don't both of them can save that money. Because them don't get well at $75,000 on the grant. So they will need more money, and the money that they will need will be $470. So go ahead and take your screenshot, guys. We're at the end. But you know, at the end, I always like to send you a link for you to give me your feedback, so I know how I can improve to make you, a little bit to make you more satisfied in the next session. So I will be sharing the link for that at this point. But take your screenshot now of what we have here, the calculations and so on. So yes, the money that the brothers got will not be enough, but they need to add $470 more on it to finish by the sawdust. Now, guys, I totally enjoyed the interaction that we had today. It was great, it was fun and everything. So I want us all to now give me some feedback based on what we have done. You can either use your phone and hover over this, open your phone camera and put it over this barcode, and or you can click on this link I will send to you in the chat and give me your feedback on how you found this session. If you learned anything and whatever, just give me your feedback. It's very important to me to know how you felt during the session. And for those on YouTube, here is the link. All right. Just click on the link and go ahead and complete. All right, so this is the end of the session. You can feel free to join me next week, Saturday, as I explore another performance task with you. Hopefully, it will not be as difficult or as challenging as this one, but of course, there were persons here rising to the occasion, and you did very well in answering. Many of you did very well in typing your explanations in the chat on Zoom as well as the chat here on YouTube. So I'm really proud of you guys, and I will see you next week. All right, great job.